All right, good morning, everyone. Let's make sure we have everything stat here. Bing. All right, all right, all right. Okay, good morning, everyone. It's Friday, June 5th, 2026. Welcome to Pitbull Traders Morning Game Plan. I'm your host, Manny. The purpose of this show is simple: live futures trading, real-time technical analysis, and actionable trade setups, all with a focus on building real trading skills and the mindset designed to drive consistent profitability. Every morning we come in with the same goal. We build out the structure before the open so that we're operating in alignment with the day's dominant forces. We're going to form out a plan. We're going to get in alignment with the market. All right, team, so let's map it out. All right, so we just had non-farm payrolls came out, and I think they came in a little bit. They came in hot. The number came in hot for sure. It was, I think, the expected. I think we were expecting 88K, and the market and came in at over 150. I think. I'm not really sure exactly what the precise number was, but there was an initial pop, and then the market sold off. So here we are. All right, team, we're going to start off as we do every day. We're going to start off with a higher time frame analysis. We're going to discuss the structure there, and then we're going to build out the most bullish argument. We'll discuss the most bearish argument, and then we'll discuss the trap trades. All right, coming into the 4-hour time frame, let's just take a quick look at the daily bar to see how it printed yesterday. And when it gets to the end of the week, I like to look at the weekly also. So we can see here, we made our high at 76.32 on June 2nd, which fell one tick short of the June 1st high at 76.3250. That's really interesting. We had the big down day, then the retracement, and now we are trading in the lower portion of yesterday's range. Okay, let's just take a quick look at the weekly. And okay, so the weekly is printing red, and in order for that to change, we would need to trade above 75.95 for this to split. 75.95. Okay, let's just keep that in mind. All right, let's get back to the 4-hour time frame. All right, team. So let's say let's look at it right here on the higher time frame of 4 hours. I have a couple of structural reference points, right? NFP actual was 72, forecast 75, 85. Yep. Okay, so we have this prior high here that we have to keep in our narrative, right? So that prior high was 75.40. But I think what really stands out to us is this low, which was at 7,500. Yeah, 75.05. We're going to call that 7,500. All right, that's where the story starts to change, right? The structure shifts if we get below 7,500. So we have to keep that in mind today, right? 7,500 is a potential structural shift. In between there, we have yesterday's Globex low, I should say, which came in at 75.24. Okay, another reference that we have to contend with. So we have 7,500 to 75.20 to 25. That's a potential bearish trap, right? We can dip in to below yesterday's Globex low of 75.25 and retrace, still put in a higher hourly low relative to our previous swing low at 7,500 and all right. Another reference that we need to frame out on this chart, taking a look at it, is this high here. You can see how we came up on the initial rally. That high comes in at 74.50. Okay, so we came up on this rally. We stopped. We breached it. We came back below. It acted as resistance, and after it's been converted, it was never retested. 74.50 is our support zone that we have to be mindful of if we get below 7,500. All right. So on our higher time frame, Those are the numbers we want to pay attention to. 75.25 to 7,500 is our potential structural shift, but we'll structurally shift below 7,500. Between 7,500 and 7,525 is a potential bearish trap zone. If we get below 7,500, then we're going to monitor. It can be a slippery slope. We can dip fast all the way down to 74.50. Check. All right, let's build it out. Let's talk to the most bullish argument. We'll talk the most bearish argument, and then we'll map out the trap trades. And then I have something interesting to share with you all before the day gets underway. Okay. Okay, team. So let's map it out here. Let's make sure we get this prior high in there. Yep. Okay. Good. Good. All right, let's talk about the most bullish argument. So we're opening at 75.45. Immediately, what we have to contend with is this reference right here. All right. So this price comes in at 75.60 to 65. That's where there was a resistance. We traded above it. It acted as support on the first touch. It failed. Although we weaved it a few times, it held a support and then it failed. If we retest it, that could act as support. I mean, as resistance. All right. So say that we're rallying and we get above 75.60 to 65. All right. At that point, we're going to be looking for pullbacks to 75.65. And we're going to start looking for long entries because value area low is just above there at 75.71. If we get up there and we get above 75.60 to 65 and price shows acceptance, then we should rally into prior day's value. And that should take us, that at that point, if we can demonstrate acceptance above and in prior day's value, we already know, and I'll remind everyone about the value area. Typically, what you see is when price exits the prior day's value, whether it's above or below, and you re-enter it and price shows acceptance, generally what you see is price extend to the opposite end of balance, opposite end of value. All right. And that at that point, we would be above our weekly open, and that would form a bullish green close on the week. All right. That's the most bullish argument. Let's talk about the most bearish argument. I'm gonna have to bring this out here a little bit. Fix the scaling. All right. So we're opening up at 75.47. Immediately, we know that we have yesterday's Globex low just down here at 75.24, correct? All right. So that gives us a good reference because this area here could act between 75.24, and I know it's wide, but it is what it is, right? We have yesterday's regular trading hours low. Again, we always get our framing from our daytime frame references, which are the prior day structure. So we have on Thursday's Globex low came in at 75.24. Yesterday's regular trading hours low came in at 75.40. All right. So if price breaks below and shows acceptance, perhaps, and we get closes down there, not wicking in the opposite direction, instead on any retracement up to the overnight low, 75.44. Let me reframe I think the overnight low just changed. It did. The new overnight low, 75.43.50. Let's get that framed out so that we're accurate. We have fresh data. Okay. No, not right now. I can't. Okay. So if price gets below yesterday's low at 75.40 and on any retracement that fails to convert the overnight low at 75.43, then at that point, we're looking for short entries, and then we're looking to take ultimate target down to Thursday's Globex low, 75.24, and being mindful of that potential bearish trap zone that we just outlined from the higher time frame. All right. So we want to see closes below the overnight low. We know that when ES is selling, it's a hot knife through butter. So stay alert, because if this entry does materialize, if this trade does set up, The entry will happen fast. We will need to get in. And if you get in on this trade and price stalls and it starts not moving your direction, then cut it, stand aside, and reassess. Because when ES is selling, it's a hot knife through butter. It should move in our direction quickly. If not, we want to get out of Dodge. We want to stand aside, because when it does sell, you'll always have time to sell it into a momentum trade. Okay. All right. So that's the most bearish argument. And who knows, if we get down below Globex, below Thursday's Globex low, we could even see a move to last week's low and take that out at 75.05. Okay, so 75.24 to 75.05, which are our higher time frame references. Again, be mindful that if we get into the zone, have your scales out, move your stop to break even, because bulls love to trap bears, and we don't want to get caught on the opposite side of that. All right, so let's talk about the trap trades. That clear to everyone? Let me know if you have any questions. Chime in, let me know. All right, let's get a screenshot of this and we'll move along. All right, let's talk about the bullish trap trade. So 75.65 is that reference we were looking at on the bullish continuation. Okay, so, and with value area low coming in just above that at 75.51, that gives us a great 6 to 7 point reference band for us to assess price's intention. All right, so if we're opening and price rallies to correct the overnight inventory, again, because when the overnight, the way we can tell what the state of the overnight inventory is by looking at where the prior day settlement was. Yesterday's settlement was at 76.01. All of the volume from the overnight session was contained beneath that. Okay, so if price looks into this 75.65, 75.71 band, maybe even gets up to the rally high from the news drop, which was at 75.78, and stalls and starts to put in lower highs, then at that point, if we get back below 75.65, we get closes, we show acceptance, we're looking for entries with our price as close to our exit as possible, and then we're looking for a move down to the overnight low down at 75.43. All right, so we're gonna look for a look above and fail into the 75.65 to 75.70 zone. If we get above it, we still have to stay alert for the 75.78. Okay. All right, let's talk about the bearish trap trade. So we have great references down here. Yesterday's low 75.41. We also have Thursday's Globex low at 75.24. If price dips, and again we start to wick, we could even come back down below, and bears are pressing, right? Overnight inventory is net short, and we've had some weakness demonstrated in the tape. If we get down below there, but price stalls out and ultimately puts in a higher low, reclaims the overnight low, reclaims yesterday's low, 75.43 to 75.41. I love it when they're tight like that because it gives us excellent risk markers. Okay, so if we reclaimed yesterday's low, 75.41, we reclaimed the overnight low at 75.43. At that point, we're looking for longs on a reclaim. We're looking for longs close to our exit, which it would be this local low that was put in, the higher low that demonstrated to us that price is being rejected. If bears are unable to extend below yesterday's regular trading hours range, then at that point, we're going to look for longs above the overnight low that get us into a trade, taking our scales out along the way for a potential test up to 75.65, and then maybe even a move up to value area low. And who knows, we did it yesterday, a potential move up to the settlement. Okay. All right. So that maps out the bullish trap trade. That maps out the bearish trap trade. Some ideas there on the higher time frame. Interesting structure here on the ES. Interesting environment here going into this Friday session. On a quick note, it's 9:27. We have a few minutes here, and I just Uh, Before we get underway, I just want to share with you all a personal note. So, yesterday we found out that one of my daughter's teammates' older sister unalived herself, and my daughter's pretty broken up about that. So, yeah. So before we get underway, yeah, 16 years old, kid was ranked fourth in her class, star athlete, played all around, played competitive volleyball all around the nation. Super sad. I know the parents really, really well because I coached their daughter for over a year and a half. So before we get underway, I'd just like to have a moment of silence for the Briggs family. Thanks, guys. Thanks for sitting with me through that. And all right, so about a minute here until the open. We're going to make sure that we jot down today's daily open. I think the opening print is going to matter a lot today because, again, so what I was hoping for, and in full transparency, I took a long trade in here and I got stopped out just before coming on. Um, I got long right in here on the NFP news because so look, if you're looking at the higher time frame, right? I was expecting the distribution to hold. So I thought we were doing something like this and we were going to come back down and it would hold and we would move up, but it didn't work out. All right, let's map it out. Let's get our daily open on our charts and let's see what the market has in store for us today. All right, we opened at 75.47.75. Now remember, keep that written down. We want to monitor that level very closely. Let's go move over to our trading charts. And I want to pull up the order flow. Again, can someone remind me what was the daily open? Just had it down here. Okay. Daily open 75.47. All right, we just looked below the overnight low. Cautions here. We had the overnight low at 75.43.50, and we're ripping now. Stay alert. Oh, I have a valid trade here in this area. I don't like the low though. $75.47. Thanks, Happy Hiker. Appreciate it. Want to give this a few minutes to play out. Good morning, Nish. How are you, pal? Thanks for joining. Yes, correct, Nish. That is, you are correct. That is a typo. Today's cycle day 1. How did I get in there? Let me see. It's S4L cycle day 1. I mean, did I mess that up? Hang on. Yeah, this is a typo, team. S4L cycle day 1. Thanks for the heads up on that, Nish. Yes, it is cycle day 1. Did I? Let me fix that and put it back out again. All right, I want to lock in here because I do have a setup here. Reclaimed the overnight low, 75.43 quarter. Good morning, Oz. How are you? Happy Friday to you. Yeah, let's see, 75. It seems like we are opening more and more down here. And those, so good eye, happy hiker. That was Thursday. I think, yeah, it was Thursday's open too. That's interesting, right? How we were, so the context is shifting now to overnight weakness into, and so that kind of makes sense. You know what I was thinking earlier? Let me just share this with you. So I think what we're seeing is, again, I don't want to confuse anyone, but I think what we're seeing is, I think market makers are forcing negative delta. I think they're forcing negative delta overnight and then squeezing the gamma during the regular trading hours. If you don't understand that, just don't bother with it. It's highly speculative anyway. I think that's what we're seeing. That's why we get those rips higher like yesterday. I continue to, I'll continue to reiterate that it is my belief that we are in a distribution phase. And when we see, when the VIX hits a support and the VIX starts to rally, that's going to be the tell that distribution, that right now, I think they're just suppressing the volatility, being supportive on dips and selling into rips. So another thing that, yes, Adrian, market execute. Hang on. Hey, Adrian, hang tight, okay? I'm going to get it up. I have to, there's a typo on it. I'm going to get that fixed in just one moment. I'm going to put up a revised copy. All right, there's just, the cycle day is wrong. That's the only thing, that's wrong on it. But hang tight. I'll get it back up in a minute. Hang tight. Give me a sec here. All right, look at this. Yep, it's selling. Yep, look at that. Oh, hey, heads up here. That high looks good. That high looks good. We're looking for a low. We are looking for a low. I'm looking for a low here on the clock. but I'm at support. It's tough. It's a tough read, team. It's a tough read. All right. I'll let you know if I so the high looks good in terms of me feeling comfortable enough to trade against it. All right. I'm short below the overnight low. I'm using that. I'm in that set. Wait, let me get it up. Pause. What is this here? Okay. I have a small position on short below 40.75. Just a momentum short. Okay, go. Come on, don't retrace. I don't like that pop. It looks like, hey, that there was a huge. My stop is here. Let me just make sure I have this right. There was a buy program that went off down there from 75.35 to 75.37. Sorry, there was a sell program that just sold a tranche from 37 down to 35, and then immediately retraced. So, in my opinion, all right. So let me explain that concept. It's probably important to explain. So a sell program went off, or a large batch order went off and drove. Hang on, let me get that up. Hang tight. Let me just make sure I have my bearings here. Nope, wrong link. Hang tight, coming at you. All right, so it seems to me that there was a sell program and they swept everything from 75.37 to 75.35. I'm trying to get SPYGATE up to verify that. But the reason why I'm mentioning that, it's not what happens, what happens next. Okay, there was just a sell program, went off. So let me follow through on this. So essentially, reading the tape, what I noticed was we were trading 75.39 or into 75.38. And then you guys saw that spike down and immediately we came back up, okay? Let me fix these orders. I just have to manage this. All right. Oh, got the first order. Got the first order, team. Hello. Got the first one. Plus, I think it's 5 points on that. 5 points on the first. Things are moving fast here. Heads up. It's retracing. I just got, all right, moving lower now. I'm in the momentum short at 75.34. I got 4 to 5 points. I got 5 points on the first. And now I'm just monitoring for continuation. I'm short from, these are the ads at 34. So I'm looking for 24 for 10 points. Heads up. I'm going to explain this what I saw there in just a moment. As soon as I have a moment to all right, 75, looking for 75, 20. What is this? This is 75, 24. So I'm looking for 75, 24 for 10 points. See if I can get it. 24, and I'm looking for 19. Then I'm looking for 19. Question from yesterday's blueprint. We had support at 75.33, 30, which was never touched. Can those levels still work? No, they're fresh every day, Nish. They're fresh every day. They can work, but just think about it like this, right? So they can work the next day. I frequently will be aware of them, and I have traded them the next day. But think about it like, I want you to think about it like, think about them as a support or a resistance that's been already traded, and it gets weaker with every test. So there's often times where the market blueprint has the same level of successive days because those levels didn't get touched, or they still matter. All right, coming down into that target, all right, got it, plus 10 points. Plus 10 points on the second, plus 5 on the first, plus 10 on the second. All right, starting off with a bang. Feeling really good about that one right there because today's going to be an early day for me. Feeling happy about that. Got it. Let's go. Breaking down here. We're breaking down. Heads up, we're coming down into, I am, let's see, what is this? 30, 33, 23. Nine, 18. Okay. So also, Nish, is in terms of the blueprint, right? The levels, sometimes they're drafted as supports. Like, so today's support buy 75.40, 75, and then 75.60 is the next. You can just look at those also as support and resistance, right? So if we're trading below it and we trade up to it, you can always look at it as resistance. Holy crap, what happened here? All right, algorithm got me short. I'm in at 5 short, looking for 75.20. Want to get some extension here. Come on. If not, I'll start peeling. There was an ad, an algo ad into this account from this system. All right. So that's what happened there. Ooh, look at that. Whoa. 75.21 is our low. Remember, this is our bullish trap. This is our bullish trap zone. All right, let's go. Come on, baby, hit him. Let's go. I'm down here. I'm bid at 75.20. So there was an ad on the CCI, BTG CCI method trade into the same account. So I was short 3. There we go. Got him. Got him. Let's go. Come on. Oh, yeah. All right. A lot of register ringing over here. Come on, baby. Let's go. Move down, move down, move down. So I still have one on from 75.24. Looking for 75.14, 75.09 on this one for 25 points. See if I can get lucky. I'll drop it in a heartbeat. I will cut this like a bad habit. Hey, I want to explain to everyone who's watching and viewing, I want to explain liquidity gaps. We see them often, and when you use SPYGATE in conjunction with the execution clock and tape reading, liquidity gaps are something that trick a lot of traders out of their positions. And I want to explain that concept because we saw that really well today. And I'm going to tell you something. I hope to teach you something that you'll be able to employ to get shaken out of less trades on liquidity gaps. All right, looks like I might get taken out on this one. I have the ad on it. All right, I got taken out. Stop and break even. All right. So heads up, right? I just want to explain it. All right. So hey, we're into that bullish trap, to that bullish trap zone area, okay? We can still form a higher low. Yeah, but they're coming in kind of hard. They're coming in hard on them. Internals are really bearish. I think that, guys, I think this is going to be. Hey, I think the target here is last week's low, 75.05. My only regret is that I got taken out of that one at break even. I should have held it, but I mean, whatever. I cannot get mad at, at that game. Hey, so let me go back and explain what I saw. And in order to do that, I'm going to need a tool, right? Let me see if how can I do this? I bet we're going to see it. 75.17. Let me just make sure that Let me disable this. Let me just make sure that these are right. Okay. Hang tight. And then I'll explain that trade setup, what got me short and why. Hang tight. Let me know, sound off, team, if anybody caught the momentum short with me. I'd love to hear it. Let me know about it. Anyone catch the short? Anyone short with me? My mouth is getting sticky. Yes, I want to replace that. All right. Hey, Nish, thanks for the update on the market blueprint level. I'm going to put out the revised version now. No time for colorful posts. It's just going to be the image. This is the new revised version. Okay. All right. So heads up. Now let's get back to the real time. So, and then, oh yes, nice. Let's go. So what I wanted to explain is, this is a different chart, but let me change this chart out, and then I'm going to explain. This is going to be a good lesson or something great to share. Change this out to a candlestick. Second chart. Candlesticks. Data series. I'm going to bring this up on a 30-second chart so I can really get dial in on this lesson. And if you guys are managing a trade right now, I still have one contract short, but I've got plenty of space on it. If you're managing your trade, manage it. All right, don't listen. Focus on your wallet. Focus on your position. Volume. Oh yeah. Let's go. I bet you this was, I'm going to show you about that liquidity gap right at the open. All right, see, it's right here. Yep, I knew it. I knew it. All right, hey team, if you're caught a few points, good job, Rockin' Rufus. 25 points, Rockin' Rufus. Nice job. Good job, Rockin' Rufus. He gets a cash register, ringing the register. I love it. Love to hear about it. All right, so let me just look back here. So the low was, it was 37. It was 38, right? Yeah, this was the spike low. So the spike low came in here on this bar here, right? Because we wicked. That's what shakes a lot of people out. So 940, it was the bar, okay? Now let's go look, let's look back at this chart. 940. Where are we at 940? I bet you there's a volume spike at 940. Yep, look at it right here. Okay, so if you look here, we have these volume spikes at 940, these two. This is a 30-second chart that coincide with this wick. All right? So what happened was, so here, so they ran a sell program, right? Big sell program, went off, and it started up. I remember it started at 39.40, and then we spiked all the way down to 36.50. All right. And when we spiked down to 36.50, I said, hey, there's a liquidity gap here, and I was shorting at that point. Sorry, that's what got me short. And what I noticed was, as soon as price retraced, right, what happens is when they run those sell programs, they're just like, hey, I just want to sell this, sell everything I can, right? So they're selling so much that it'll sweep 8 ticks, 9 ticks, whatever it is, so that they can fill that order, okay? And I bet you it coincides with a future sell, a SPY sell, a option sell, okay? And so when that happens, they clear out all the bids that were sitting there to buy. So all those orders that were sitting there get filled. They just sold them all. What happens immediately is, because they sold everything in the ladder, right? Every price, every tick in the ladder, those orders are no longer, they're no longer orders above them and on the sell side, on the offer side. And so what happens is because there's nothing there. You can like move the market, like the bid ask spread is going to gravitate towards where there are orders sitting. And so when that vacuum happens, you have to wait for that, sit that out. If you're in your position, don't get shaken out, because that spike will usually resume after price finds its bid-ask equilibrium. I hope that makes sense. If not, let me know. I can try to give a better explanation. But it's key to know, because I used to get shaken out on those all the time. All right, so it looks like we hit 75.05. Hey team, remember, this is the low on our higher time frame that we mapped out this morning, right? You guys remember that? We said this is our last week's low, May 27th low, came in at 75.0575. So this is that trap zone. Want to be careful. If you're short, stay alert. Stay alert down here. Are there any gaps in this area? Of course there is. Yep. The gap fills down at 75. Oh, no, sorry. Excuse me. There isn't. We just filled it. We just filled the gap at 75.06. All right. Stay alert. You took the short? Yay, Delphine. Nice. I'm so happy to hear that. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Having fun over here. Give you a cash register ring too. Need to overtake yesterday's low. J. Murdoch post. Need to overtake yesterday's low, battling it out now. Just went flat on my ES and NQ short standing aside. Hey, well done, well done. Good job. Register ring for Happy Hiker. Love it. I love to hear about it. That's awesome. I'm so happy to hear about it. Really, guys, that's what it's all about. All right, so price is retracing here. What time is it? It's 10 o'clock. What's the blueprint? Where's the blueprint? Did I hit a level? Do I, or can I sit through this retracement? Do I want to 505, so, but we have that higher frame reference. Look decent. 7505. No, I mean, this is, you know, the breakdown short was below 75.50. So I'm going to hold this. I am going to take profit on it soon because I don't want to sit through another retracement. I can always reload ahead, and it's Friday. You know, one of the things that we often talk about is profit protection Fridays. David from PTG, who joins me on Wednesdays, frequently talks about it. And it's important to take it easy on Friday. Book those profits. Book those profits if you have them. All right, let's take a look at the profile. Hey, you know what we need to look at is the weighted AD. I mean, it's probably pretty negative. There it is. Negative on the WAD. Where's my stop on this? My stop is above. Oh, we're gonna, yeah. So heads up, I'm going to likely take. I'm going to put my stop up here and then see if I want to sit through that. I don't want to sit through a long retracement today. I'm just not in the mood for that. So happy hiker asks, so more ES low and NQ is possible in the coming hours. Is that a question, happy hiker? Oh, statement. Yep. Okay, good. Yep, I agree with that. I agree. I think we could see some more, some further lows. I personally, I just don't want to sit through it. So I'm likely to take some more off here. I want to go get a cup of coffee. PTG David posts, lower targets filled. All right, we're moving down lower here. Hey, so a few of the things that would get me out of this short, right? So if you're following the market blueprint, if you're using the execution clock, which it frames a lot of our methodology here. So you know we're looking for a low into this morning. I mean, the execution clock is just such a valuable tool. I hope that you guys are getting out of it what I do. Again, it's posted every day on my X feed at Manny_trends. And the way it works is there are typically 4 to 5 time windows, and the concept is price makes pivots, but the clock gives you windows in which those pivots are more probable. So for today's configuration, all right, looks like price is retracing again. So for today's configuration, we're looking for a low between 10 and 55. We're looking for a high pivot between 11 and 11:45. Followed by a low pivot between 12 and 1, a high pivot between 2 and 2:55, and then a low pivot between 3 and 3:55. Every day is a different configuration type. All right, looks like we're rallying back up. I'm going to go ahead and take the 15 points on this and stand aside. I can always reload. I can always reload later. as I said, I don't want to sit through. Oh, wait. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to. I don't feel like I'm not in the mood to sit through a long retracement. So, I'm going to put the stop above this candle high, which is 20.25. I mean, to put it that close, man, you might as well just close it now, right? I like the market to take me out and not for me to click to take myself out of the trade. It's kind of like getting in when using a buy stop. Hey, let me know if that liquidity concept made sense. It's important. I think it matters. All right, looks like I'm out. Took 13 points on that one. Plus 13 on that trade. Again, I was looking for a little bit more on it. But I never want to dwell on unrealized profit, right? I'd rather focus on what I'm deciding to take out. I control my own destiny. But this is another good example, right? This is why I can't trade those nefarious prop firms that use intraday trailing drawdowns. Because you guys see the way I trade. I'll sit in the trade, let it retrace on me. It's just maybe it's not the best way, but that's just the way I do it, right? There are many ways to do it, and mine is only one. Okay, looks like I'm in a short here on the 810 at 75.23. So let me focus in on this. Yep, thanks, David. Thanks for the color. Appreciate it. Appreciate the color. $23, it's $28. Let me go ahead and save this. I'm in an 810 short at 75.23, separate strategy. This is, I'm using the ATA. This is the PTG ATA. ATA stands for Auto Trade Assistant. So okay, look, got first target. All right, so 75.23 short. I got +4 on the first. Now I'm looking for 75.16 for a 7-point fill. Let's go. Let's go. We're cooking. We're cooking. Yep. All right. I got the second target. See? Nope, not yet. Scratch that. That's a fib. Misquoted that. Hey, did you guys see where the price retraced from? Here, check this out. You see how this low volume node? Does everyone know what a low volume node is? A volume node? Sound off if you do. Okay, cool. So, all right, cool. So, hey, there's something interesting I want to share about low volume nodes, high volume nodes. I think everybody's pretty familiar with those concepts, right? And all right, I got stopped out the remainder. Oh no, not filling. So there's an interesting concept with low volume nodes and high volume nodes, and it's something I think a lot of traders miss. Let me monitor this. I don't like that we're back up here again, and I only got one off. I still have 3 contracts short there. This is a retest. Remember, we're in that higher time frame bullish trap zone, right? We tested the low 75.05, and now we're back up to test the Globex low that we highlighted, 75.24. Is this going to act as resistance, or are they going to start to claw it back? You have to be careful in here. All right. I'll get to the low volume nodes, high volume nodes in a minute. Yep. What's this high price? 26.50, and the stop is 28. Looks like I'm gonna get taken out on this. All right. Oh, you know what? This is gonna be a perfect lesson. Something really interesting about the low and high volume nodes. All right, got taken out on the last 3 for 23 for -4.5. So I got +4 on the first, -4.5 on the remainder. Yeah, so that's right, Happy Hiker. Happy Hiker says the RTH SPY triple bottom tag today was precise at SPY 748.22. Yeah, that's interesting. So look, let's talk about the and look, this thing, that's what price loves to do this, right? Especially when it's bearish, it can retrace. Like it'll just have these rip your face off retracements. That's why it's so hard being a bear. All right, let me just look at this up here. I have low volume node at 75.31. I'm gonna let this candle form, and then I'm going to. This is perfect. Everyone see the low volume nodes here, right? Everyone sees these. This is a low volume node right there. This is a low volume node. This is a low volume node. This is a low volume node right there. Yep, that's Brad. It's ripping. Let's watch it. What is that volume node price? Let me just see. Nope, I want this. Okay, so that's 75.31. Good. Let it form out a little bit here so I can soon really drive the lesson. So now we're reclaiming that. So now we're testing that Globex low that we analyzed. This is where we have to pay attention, right? We're testing this band right here. Let's remove the highlights right here. Look, we're testing this zone right into here. So if the bulls reclaim this, then we know how the rest of this day is going to play out. So then that would be the first sign that we looked below and failed and came back up. All right. Ripping. It's a ripper. All right, another low volume node right here, 75.35. Watch 75.35.50. Let's see if we come back down to 75.25, right? And find some support for another move higher. That would be another sign that this 75.24 is reclaiming. Ooh, coming back in on them. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, that's too... Oh, close that. I closed it. I don't want any part of that. Way too deep for me. Way too deep. All right, I took like -4 on that one. I'm going to stand aside now. Yeah, it's rejecting from that area, team. Look, it went up as high as 75.33, and now deep pullback to the volume point of control at 75.22. All right, let's watch this next step. Engage it. Try to get an understanding for what the directional movement is going to be on the next trade. Got that AM low. It feels like they want to take it. It feels like they want to take it higher. At least momentarily to come back up here. Let's watch this bar close. Maybe they come back up and test 75.30, and we can reassess there. I didn't like that stop out. I mean, nobody does, but I'm just saying in reference to mindset. Yep, look at that, coming right back down again. Yeah, they're just pounding these. Yeah, this thing is, they're hitting them hard. All right, hey team, real quick. I didn't like that stop out. I'm going to take a quick stop loss protocol break. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab a cup of coffee, and I'll be back in just a few. Yeah, look at this thing. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out if there's anything I could have done differently. Look at this. They're selling them. What are the ticks doing? Yep. Now, do they take them all the way back down, or do they, bounce them here and kind of retest that 75.30 band before the next move? If we go straight down from here, I mean, that's pretty darn bearish. But I think that we got rejected from that 75.24 zone. What did we hit on SPX 7500? All right, yep, look at this, man, they pounded them. Look at this. It kind of makes sense though that they would. We went 75.05, and that area down there was 75.03. So I would think that that maybe they go down there again, and then they sweep it or extend. We'll see. Just want to watch this this high volume node right here. Yep, look at that. They're breaking through. All right, quick. I'm going to go grab a cup of Joe. I'll be right back. Hey y'all, thanks for holding on. I'm back. I'm back. Looks like we came right back up. Yeah. Thought they might do that. I pounded them all the way down to 75.13. What are we bouncing off of down here? Anyhow, real quick, to circle back to what we were discussing earlier about these low volume nodes. One thing I think is that many traders oversimplify volume nodes. And one way that they do that is they think about low volume nodes as, low volume nodes that support or resistance, high volume nodes as magnets, right? And while that's not entirely wrong, I think that they're missing, a lot of them miss the big picture. In that, so on this rally here, when we were coming up right on this print, if you recall, on this candle print right here, that was when we identified that, when I came up with this, when I decided to discuss this. And I think that there was this low volume node here. Okay. So an area, it's an area where the market has spent very little time and done very little business, right? So think of it as rejection or inefficiency, right? Fast movements. But when these guys sold it right here because of this low volume node, you have to understand that, how do I say it? Early in the session, the volume profile is still forming. The auction isn't complete yet. So the market hasn't finished determining value. And because of that, low volume nodes often don't have the same significance at like 10 or 10:30 that they might have at 2. And so I think that one way, where the rubber meets the road on this is understanding that distance. So we came up, let's make sure that we're on the right, because as I was looking at ES, we put the ES back up. Think about like distance matters. This is where I think traders, get a lot of value, right? So selling the furthest away low volume node as a resistance is the play. Because if you sell one that's too close, you're just likely to get run over. If prices move like in ES, if price moves 12, 15 points away and then comes back, now I care about that. But distance, that's the volume node that I want. But if price moves away from a volume node, say 4 or 5 points, just be careful there. That's all. Think about it that way, right? Just be careful in that area because, there's a higher probability at those close volume nodes early on in the day that you probably will run into some trouble. What's the high here? We came in, did a lower high, 75.31. I think if you're entertaining any short ideas, that's your risk marker. You know what? I think I might try these here. Hang tight. I have to do something here. Hang tight. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions about that, let me know. Does that kind of make sense, guys? The low volume nodes and high volume nodes. got some micros on short. I'm short some micros here. I'm not going to that stop out up there on the 810 that bugged me. Didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. I didn't like the way it affected me. I was in that flow state before that happened. And then I started dwelling on it. Back in my mind, I started thinking about it too much. So better just to stand aside. Large void says, makes sense to me. I'm not used to identifying the tiniest little LVNs in what I would call a large void or gully. Yep. Large void says, talking about large voids. Good one. Yeah, I thought I might share. You know, look, if these concepts are elementary or they're everyone understands them, it's hard for me to assess what the level of everyone's understanding is. But even for myself, team, like I like to review these concepts. I do, because it just refreshes it. And then also, like I had 2 coaching sessions this week, and I'm going, you know, he's very new, super new to trading. I mean, he's been doing it so he tried it once about 3 years ago, and then for maybe like a few months, and then put it down, and then now he's been picking it back up, and he's been doing it for, I'd say, about since around September, so about 8 or 9 months. Just under a year, so super evergreen, super new. Hey, if you're just checking in, I'm Manny for Pitbull Traders. Welcome to the morning game plan. We're tracking the ES right now, and in our pre-market prep, here's the layout, team. All right. In our pre-market prep, we identified that. Just blow this out. Let's make this big. All right. In our pre-market prep, what we were looking for was our most bearish argument was that if ES broke and it got below the overnight low and yesterday's low, right, which is here, and overnight 75.43 to 75.41, that what we were going to do was look for short trades. All right, we're going to look for short trades with our risk markers getting ready, getting in super close to our exit, as close as we can. And we were able to capture this trade short here. I got +5, +10. And then I think I got +15 on the +13 on the last one. But I had a couple of scales at +5 points. Did pretty good on that one. And what we identified on our higher time frame was that here's our higher time frame. We identified this area here, this 7,500 to 75.24 zone as a potential bearish trap zone. So we want to be on alert that price didn't come down, look into this area, trap bears, and then rally back up. So that's what we were thinking. Maybe it does something like this and then rallies back up. But instead, this is our most bearish argument is playing out, where we just broke. We couldn't even retest yesterday's low. We couldn't even retest the overnight low, and price is just rolling over. The next target would be 75.5 to 7,500, followed by 74.50. Let me know if you guys have any questions. choose your pass. So here was our most bearish argument. You can see that price did not even go back into yesterday's range. It just broke lower. So heads up on that. And I took that. So if you're just checking in and you realize that I wasn't at my desk, I apologize for that. It's not really, but I have two standards that two rules that I adhere to. Okay. And those rules are in terms of my behavioral approach, I have one rule that's called stop protocol. And basically what that means is if I take a stop and I feel like it's bugging me, I have to get up and remove myself from my desk for at least 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes until I'm clear on it. And it's not looking at price on my phone, that's just clearing my head, and then I'll come back and reassess. That's what stop loss protocol is. I'll put that out. The other rule that I have is post-win, is PWE, that's post-win euphoria. And what that basically is, it's very similar to stop loss protocol, but what it is that post a big win, I tend to get sloppy after that. And I needed a rule to understand what was happening, right? Because no one wants to act in their own worst interest. So essentially what that rule is, after a big win, I enjoy the W, I step away from my desk, much the same as stop loss protocol. If you're just checking in and you're watching us on socials, let me know where you're checking in from. Love to hear about it. Let me know where you are checking in from. I think I mentioned a while back that there was a viewer that checked in from, he checked in from Iraq. At least that's where he was. That's where his IP address was. I didn't get to speak to him personally. So I would expect, I'm stalking a short entry here for my next trade. Lower highs should make a lower low at some point. But I want to give it another 20, 25 minutes because the structure anywhere in here. Where's my exit? If I sold 20s, my exit would have to be 32. Just you know, because it's then you're adding all the way up. I don't want to do that. Wrong cup. It's quiet out there today. All right, so we'll probably get another shot at another test up at. See if we get another test up into these 31s. Or if this low volume, let's see if that low volume node, if we're really bearish, it should, it should roll over pretty quickly. All right, got a short in with the algorithm 75.23. Looking for 75.20 on the first. Got the first target and then got hosed on this. Got the first target, but nothing after that. So let's see if the stop holds. I'm willing to give that one a little bit more space. Give it a little space to breathe here. It's still a little bit early, but I'm going to let the algorithm be the algorithm. All right. Looks like that one's done too. I'm going to go ahead and take a graceful on that. And that's going to call it for me for today. I don't want to press any longer. I've had a good week. I don't want to take another stop out. Oh, wait. Never mind. Saved by the bell. Let's see. I don't know. It's a little choppy in here, though. Let's see if I can get the second target. Let's see. Come on. That would be nice. Oh, yes. It would be nice. It would be nice. Right back up. Hard to get follow through. It'll break at some point, but I'm not sure I want to sit through it. All right, got the second target. 75.18. All right, 75.18. So plus 5 points, plus 3 on the first, plus 5 on the second. All right, guys, it's 11 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock. All right, let's see if I can get this last target before I cut out of here. Oh, my stop's at break even now, 75.23. I think it's just a matter of when, not if, it breaks. All right, team. So listen, if it hits 23, I'll stop out of break even. If it hits 13, it'll get my target. But it's 11 o'clock. I'm going to wrap it up for the week. If you got anything out of this at all, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, come back and check us out on Monday. We'll be at it again at 9 a.m., bringing you the pre-market, the morning game plan, the pre-market bullish arguments, the bearish arguments. We'll frame it out. We'll take some trades. We'll make some money, and we'll learn a little bit. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.